This is unfortunate. A 22-year-old hairdresser by the name of Odama Mary Agado has unalived herself after she caught her boyfriend cheating on her in an apartment that she rented for him. The boyfriend, whose name is Daniel, unfortunately, was said to be living in Enugu State, while the victim, 22-year-old Mary, lived in Cross River State. It's possible she also lived in Enugu State, but she is from Cross River State and she is a hairdresser and a hairstylist in Cross River State. It's unclear how long Mary and Daniel had been dating. It's unclear how they met. We don't even know much about this young man other than his name and other than, he's a deadbeat. Apparently, Mary is a successful hairstylist and hairdresser in Cross River State. And she has been doing so well for herself that she was able to afford to pay her rent and rent an apartment for her boyfriend Daniel in Enugu State. It did not end there. She also bought him a car. This is a 22-year-old girl who is able to afford paying the rent of another man and buy him a car. And that is why it isn't so surprising that when she went to pay him a visit in that apartment, she was heartbroken when she caught him with another woman. It's unclear the details. We don't know the details other than she went to the apartment to pay the boyfriend a visit. I'm guessing a surprise visit. I'm guessing because given how she reacted, it may have been one of those things where she was going to surprise her boyfriend with a surprise visit, only for her to ended up being the one surprised. Heartbroken to the point that it was said she went back home. She called her mother to tell her mother everything while she was in her own apartment. By the way, she went back to her own apartment. She was crying to her mother, telling her mother that she's devastated and telling her mother that, whatever she sees, she should take. Like that she's sorry for whatever may happen, because at this point, she was very, very broken. The mother, they said, was struggling to get a hold of the daughter once the phone call ended. She knew her daughter was in a bad state and she needed to see how she could help the daughter. It's not certain, but it seems like this may have happened all in Enugu State. I think it happened in Enugu State because I'm guessing if she was in Cross River State, and there would have been family to reach her fast enough. Apparently, it was said that, since the mother was unable to get help, by the time her phone would ring again, it's somebody calling her to tell her that her daughter had died, that her daughter had taken sniper, and she was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. A lot of people have criticized her. A lot of people have, used this as evidence to prove their gender war cases, some of which we can talk about briefly, which is more like, some people are saying, you see, this is how men feel when a woman cheats on them, because the men usually are the ones who buy cars, pay rent, spend money on those women, and then they end up bringing another man or sleeping with another man. And now a woman knows how it feels. That is some of their arguments. And some women have said that, you see, this is why you don't do anything for a man. This is why you don't get to buy, overdoing everything, buying things and buying cars, that you don't get to over sacrifice for a man, that if she hadn't done so much for this man, the impact of her catching him cheating would not have been so devastating. And to be honest with you, that is one part of the argument I can agree with. The fact that I think, even though we've seen people unalive themselves over people that they did not even spend a dime on, at the end of the day, it is very painful. It is more hurtful. It has more impact when you have sacrificed so much for somebody, when you have done and given up so much for somebody, when you have gone to work 365 days of the year to give another person the money to have a roof over their head and have a car to ride, and then you see them share those things with another woman. That hits more. That is painful. For most people, it causes them to spark. There are some cases where if Mary was another kind of human being, Daniel would be the one in the mortuary. If Mary was a different breed of person, if it had gone another way, that house would have been lit on fire. That car would have been taken and set ablaze. Daniel would have been the one in the hospital with multiple stab injuries, while the other woman who he was with would be in the hospital with an acid bath. These are the things that we've seen that leads to people committing crimes, crime of passion. So it's unfortunate that it took Mary towards this direction. It's unfortunate that Mary had to take it towards this direction. I cannot imagine the pain. It's also possible that she may have taken a sniper with hope that the boy will come running and rescue her. And unfortunately, she didn't come back from it. It's just unfortunate. It didn't have to get to this. There was enough time to heal. There was enough time to move on from it. And also it boils down to how the said Daniel, just bad that his name is Daniel too. It boils down to how he treats the young woman. And the thing is, Daniel is going to go on with his life. He's going to ride and drive that vehicle, that apartment. He's going to bring in more women to it. He's going to move on, get married and have a happy life. That is one of the things with tragic stories like this. We all think, oh, thunder will fire him. Karma is a bitch. Karma is going to get you. At the end of the day, Daniel might go on to have a good life. But seeing that this young woman is the one sponsoring his life and doing all these things for him, it only indicates one thing, that he's a deadbeat. He's a deadbeat man. That means he is a no good man, a good for nothing man. Basically, for a woman, 22-year-old girl, and I'm suspecting that this Daniel could be older than her. I would not be surprised if this is a 30-year-old Daniel we're talking about. I would not be, but given that she is 22, I would not be surprised if it's someone older and more mature than her that is doing this. If the Daniel is probably 19, okay, now we'll have to talk about this all over again. But if this is a grown-ass man, over 23, over 25, and he is out here having a 22-year-old girl pay his rent, buy him a car, then forget what I said earlier, because if he is a deadbeat, he may end up not even having a good life in the end. He may end up not, because guys like this always depend on the naivety of women. They depend on he will go on to another one, because now that Mary is gone, I wonder who's going to pay his rent next year. I wonder who's going to fuel the car. I wonder who's going to buy him things and give him provision, because we both know the woman he is bringing to the house to cheat on Mary ain't giving him nothing. Not many women out here are buying cars. How many 22-year-old women do you know is buying a car and renting an apartment for their boyfriend? How many do you know? I haven't heard about that in a long while. The least a 22-year-old girl would be doing right now is using her school fees to pay for her boyfriend in their department so he can be able to write the exams, or giving a pocket money up for a month. A 22-year-old girl doing well for herself, just a recipe for disaster when she meets somebody like the said young man that she met. People like Daniel would go on depending on women to foot their lifestyle. That's just what it's going to be. It's unfortunate, but you guys let me know your thoughts. But also, before we go, it's important to know that the police did not arrest Daniel because clearly this was not a crime on his own part. And the last I checked, cheating or sleeping with another woman that is not your girlfriend is not a criminal offense. And the young lady has since been buried. The moment her body arrived home in Cross River State, she was buried. If she had older brothers or cousins or male figures in their family, I would suggest they go get their car back. Like, go find Daniel, collect the car. The apartment, obviously, let him have it. But, just a little punch. Maybe on his left eye or on the lips. One punch is enough. One punch or two punches. The few slaps here and there, just a little bit of flick. Just giving a little. Don't injure him too much. Just a little bit of, this is for my sister. Pooh. This is for cheating on her. Pooh. This is for, bringing another woman into this apartment that she paid for. Then just a little bit. Not, we don't support violence, but give him a little bit of touching. Just touch him a little bit. Just touch him. Tap him. Just a little bit. But we don't support violence, especially against people named Daniel. But for this Daniel, we might just make a little bit of exception.